And now they refer to it, in terms of fighting it as if it's, they need several documents. They say they're going to fight the net as if it's, a weapons system. Department of Defense documents that we...
Well, they talk about anti-war people, pro-Second Amendment people, anti-Federal Reserve. We're the enemy. They're not fighting, quote, terrorists on the web. They're fighting us. And, Steve, do you agree with me that we're getting very ripe with their preconditioning for staged false flag attacks on the web, that these private corporations and government will launch themselves as a pretext to shut down the free web as we know it?
Well, that's the only way that they can keep going with this, keep pushing this censorship thing, is to have that pretext to do it. But really, it's a two-pronged attack. There's that, the cyber terror attacks, and there's also the, the copyright issues, which they use to do essentially the same thing. All the bills. We've got a bill here called the Digital Economy Act, where it's already passed. The government's talking about repealing it. The new government here, it's already passed, but it's based upon if you or anybody in your family that uses your internet connection downloads some music or something, or a film or whatever, that's copyrighted, it's the sort of 3 strikes and out thing, and you've got that, currently with the Lieberman thing, the kill switch bill. So it's a two-pronged attack. They've got the cyber terrorism thing and the copyright thing. So they're going to keep pushing both of those agendas to get the censorship, to keep the censorship going. That's the way I see it.
The good news is the Pentagon first designed the internet to be able to take a nuclear strike, so you can't shut it off. And that's why they're just trying to take it over instead of shutting it off, because it's designed like a brain to just keep growing new neurons when they try to shut it off. And now that people have such a hunger for alternative information, I think the globalists have already lost the battle. And they are going to fail if we simply take action and stand up against them. And I know you're about to go out to a meeting here in a moment, Steve, but I'm going to call you during the next break because I have another huge idea for a story tomorrow that we can make the #1 search that is going to devastate these people. The light bulb just went on a few minutes ago above my head, and we've demonstrated that our ideas are quite effective here. We also use a lot of our great listeners' ideas when they call in with them. It was a caller Friday who said, I'm sick of Lindsay Lohan and Mel Gibson being above the BP oil spill. And I said, well, let's just make the Obama deception the #1 search. It's already the #1 video when you type in the name Obama. And we did that. We showed people the power. But I've got an idea that is really going to head them off at the pass, Steve. And so I know you're about to go out in about 20 minutes, so I'll call you during this next break because I don't want to say this idea on air and give the enemy a heads up. But you can write an article tomorrow. Your brother's on vacation, so you're doing double duty. Paul Watson, Steve Watson are brothers. But we really appreciate you, Steve, and your family and all the great work you do.
That's no problem at all, Alex. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure having Steve Watson on with us. Steve, are you still there?
Yeah.
Steve Watson does the best Emperor Palpatine imitation I've ever seen. And for some light humor here, we got to have that occasionally. Will you please give us a Emperor Palpatine imitation?
Okay. Everything is proceeding exactly as I have foreseen.
You've done well, Lord Vader one.
You have done well, Lord Vader.
We hope the cartoon industry doesn't hire you away to do bad guy voices.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me master.
Say in time, Google will control the entire web.
In time, Google will control the entire web.
Man, this is good. But they said 2 years ago that Google wants to be the internet. In fact, guys, search that term, Google to become the internet. I mean, that's really something they're pushing. And then we know Google is NSA. This is amazing. In fact, as Emperor Google, talk about your surveillance of the little slaves, or the head of Facebook calling his users dumb effers because they trust him.
Well, the head of Facebook, he is my servant. I have instructed him directly to refer to the users as silly little effers. They will all in time call me master.
right. Hey, Steve, you're awesome. Do your Lord Moncton imitation. Come on, Al, baby. I'm waiting. This is what goes on behind the scenes, folks. Go ahead.
Moncton, okay. I've got to get into character for Moncton. We've had the debates. The time's over. I've tried to get in touch with Al Gore. I've said, "Come on, Al, baby. I'm waiting," but he won't have any of it.
You know, Steve, you've actually got a degree in politics, don't you? What's your degree?
I've got a master's degree in international relations.
That's right. And of course,
a degree in impression.
Exactly. I hired your brother, and then I found out how intelligent you were about the New World Order and hired you. I mean, I've had your brother working with me for, what, 9 years, and you for, is it 7 or 8?
Yeah, he's 9. He's 9 years. I've always been there, but, you know, the operation expanded, you know, about 2004, 2005. That's when I came in, you know, properly full-time. I've been working on Infowars.net since then.
Well, you know, Weldon Henson's worked for us for about 5 years in the shipping department, and now his band is getting so popular, he's flying to Paris and Nashville and packing the top places here in Austin. Weldon might be leaving us soon because his country band's gotten so successful, and he is a talented guy. You've actually got a rock band, and I hope it doesn't get too popular so we lose you, Steve. But Steve, even if your band gets picked up big time and it's starting to get a lot of traction, you're not going to leave us, are you? You're not going to leave the InfoWar.
No, I'm not going to leave the InfoWar.
Give folks a plug for your band and your MySpace website.
The band is called Ice Station Zebra, which is named after a book about it's like a Cold War espionage intrigue book that starred, and it was made into a film with Patrick McGowan from The Prisoner. So that's what the band's named after. If you type that in to a search engine, you'll get to our tunes and stuff. Ice
Station Zebra. All right, buddy. Hey, good having you on with us. I appreciate you spending time. And the search term for tomorrow, I'm going to, if I can just stay on hold, I'll talk to you during the break. And thank you, Steve Watson, because I got a big idea for tomorrow. But the idea today is Google launches. You search that term, send it to the top, Google launches, then hundreds of other newspapers, magazines, web blogs will then see it's the top search. They'll then try to find out what's happening and write a story about Steve Watson's article, Top Secret America, Google launches cover-up of Google Spies story. See, because they've blocked out the word Google Spies. It was #1 yesterday. They removed it totally. It went back up today, removed it totally. So now when you search Google launches, it will lead you to Google Spies. We can play this hopscotch game with them forever, even though they're in there trying to block us. Now, I was having some fun with Steve there.